Welcome to the Morning Skate, episode 343. Host Ked, joined by my co-host Brownie. Hockey is back. I am so excited. A little matinee action for the boys. I like that.
Yeah.
How you doing, dude?
I'm good. I had a interview lined up that got postponed, and my daughter's parent-teacher conference, so I kind of cleared the decks, and Ked stepped right into the vacancy. So
I like
coming
that.
at you guys in the daylight hours. And one of the big jokes is because a lot of the Northeastern interviews are during the day because they're in college and they have practice at night and stuff. And so whenever I do one of the Northeastern ones, I'm like, it's a Brownie without my co-host because we're in the daytime and he's a vampire or something to that effect, you know?
I mean, I love a matinee. This is going to be good. We'll get the podcast out. Speaking of getting the podcast out, I got an update from Spotify recently saying that there's some issues going on with like our host servers, not just ours, but everybody who uses our certain host. So this might not be released on Spotify this week. It might be on Apple, but if not, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook and we're on Twitter. So
you can find us.
Yeah, you can find us, dude. We're out there. So let's kind of get into it. Let's see what we messed up last week, Mia Culpa.
Hi, this is Mia Culpa, and I'm here to introduce the Morning Skates Mea Culpas with Ked and Brownie.
Let's do it.
All right, so starting off, LeBron James is 6'9". That's huge.
So tall.
What did I say? I was like, what is he, like 6'3"? I had no concept.
It's big.
The Flyers rookie, the Russian kid, is Matvey Michkov.
I think he scored 2 last night.
Yeah, I think he's got like 4 on the year already. The thing we were talking about with Chris Christopherson. So Sinead O'Connor ripped up the picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live, and I think just a few days later she was at Madison Square Garden and she was being booed during her song at a Bob Dylan tribute concert, and Chris Christopherson walked out on stage to support her. So again, didn't have to do that. The guy that we can't say his name for the Canadians is Arbor Jackeye. That's how you say it. I don't know how the fuck.
That's not on us. How do you get Jackeye from that, man?
Yeah, agreed. XHEKAJ translates.
Oh yeah, Jackeye.
Yeah. And then the last one, I wanted to know if you had tried carp sandwich yet.
No, I absolutely have not.
Because you were like 100% like, I'm doing that. I'm getting it.
I think I might have been in one when we were doing it, but it's fine. You know, it is what it is. I'll have to get that next time. It did sound good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do a little NHL news. Yes. All right, last night had Columbus hosting Florida for their home opener. Both teams paid a tribute to the Gaudreau brothers. Florida arrived with every single player on the roster getting off the bus with a purple Gatorade and Skittles. That was Gaudreau's favorite pregame snack. And the Blue Jackets all wore shirts honoring their brothers for their arrival. The Jackets left the left wing vacant for the opening faceoff, and the team stood on the ice after the initial puck drop for 13 seconds of the game without playing the puck. Sean Monahan later scored in the game and pointed out the banner that they just did. It was all really, really classy. I thought very obviously emotional night. Blue Jackets, I think, also just lost Boone Jenner.
Yeah, they did.
He's done for a bit.
Later on in here. Their dad also, I just wanted to have this be like a standalone thing. Their dad was at morning skate too with the team.
Yeah.
On the ice. So
obviously really, really hard situation, but hockey community kind of has everybody's back. So I think Monahan was holding like his son. It was obviously very emotional. So good on the Jackets, good on Florida. I guess that was Matthew Tkachuk's idea.
Even though he wasn't there, he couldn't make the trip, but
yeah. So that's what we have on that one. Rest in peace. San Jose Sharks, Macklin Celebrini, 18 years, 119 days, became the third youngest to notch multiple points in the NHL debut. Nathan McKinnon was 18 years, 31 days, was the youngest, and the friend of the podcast, Bobby Carpenter, 18 years, 86 days, was second. But after he did that, now he's out of the lineup on the IR due to a supposed groin injury sustained in training camp. He'll have to spend a minimum of 7 days on the IR, and the team announced he's week to week. Did you watch any of it? Because he's like low key pretty electric, dude. Like,
yeah, he's very good.
I'm pretty excited for Sharks fans. Yeah. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and they don't have David Quinn chaining him to a fucking radiator in the basement either. So
no, they don't.
All good things. Seattle named Jordan Eberle as the captain of the Kraken. And the team made history as Jessica Campbell became the first woman to coach an NHL game. Kraken also signed Joey Daccord 5 years, $5 million. Damn.
Yeah. Good
for him, dude.
Yeah. He's turned it. I mean, he's progressed every year,
There is who is like the hot comedian. She did the Tom Brady roast, and I thought she was
Nikki Glaser.
Nikki Glaser. So Nikki Glaser came out and was like, "Oh, I didn't know I was coaching the NHL because they look alike." So I thought that was kind of funny.
Somewhat, I guess, yeah.
And Jordan Eberle, when I think of him, I just think about how fucking clutch that guy is, man. Especially like in World Juniors, like he's always just been that little dude who puts a puck in the net.
Yeah, at the worst times for Bruins. I remember that.
So congratulations to him. The NHL and the NHLPA have reached an agreement regarding Robin Lehner. Per Elliot Friedman, the simplest way to put it is that Lehner's contract will not count against the cap, but he will be paid his salary.
Which is the best scenario you could ask for. Right? I mean, you don't want Vegas to get stuck with it if he can't play, and you don't want him to get screwed out of his dough if he has stuff going on off the ice. And this way everybody wins.
Yeah. I completely forgot about him, to be honest with you. I feel like when he's playing, he's always in the news, and
but he's had some off the ice. Remember all the snake stuff?
Yeah. Kyle Connor became the first player in NHL history to score in 7 straight season opening games. Fucking guys.
That's a great trivia question. If you're like having some beers with the boys, no one would ever guess Kyle Connor.
No, but like it makes sense when you say it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Not to be outdone by Jeremy Swayman. Linus Ullmark signed a 4-year extension at $8.25 million AAV. Same deal, right? Except for Swayman got more years.
So it sounds like Swayman did set the goalie market.
Okay. Sam Montembeault shutout Toronto with 47 saves, which is an NHL record for most saves made in a season opening shutout. A+ name to be on a Canadian jersey.
Hate to see it happen to Toronto.
Toronto signed Cade Weber to a 2-year, $825,000 AAV. Steven Lorentz to 1 year, $775,000, and Matt Pacioretty 1 year, $873 with qualifiers to easily get up to $1.5 million, 10 games played bonus, and a 35 games played bonus. I've been out on Pacioretty for forever. I feel like he's like the new Brian Giunta. Like he just bounces around, doesn't do shit. But what do you have?
Oh, that's fair. I do like the Steven Lorentz deal was nice because there was some pictures floating around of him when he was in like 5th grade with his Leaf jersey on.
Yeah.
And they asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He's like an NHL player for Toronto. So yeah, it's good. It's great to see that kind of stuff. But
I think it's funny when you say it's great to see that kind of stuff. But when it happened to John Tavares, everybody's like, "What a pussy!"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was no way for Tavares to leave Long Island without it being because that's just Long
controversial.
Island.
Yeah. Utah, the first goal in Utah history belongs to Dylan Gunther. Dude, he's been lighting it up. I think he's got like 4 or 5
Change
goals.
of scenery helps everybody sometimes.
The crowd was electric as they set a record for drinking $120,000 worth of beer, which is more than the entire history of the Utah Jazz. I posted like a meme about it, and everybody's like, "Oh, 120,000 is nothing." I'm like, "Okay, dude. Like, you're the guy who like
the
drinks
internet
a couple beers.
Exists. The internet exists for people to rip on other people.
Just like you're the guy who drinks a beer and he's like, dude, I pounded a 30 rack last night. Did you see that? And it's like, well, there's 29 more. What are we talking about? They also named Lawson Krause as an associate captain, which is not a normal term around the NHL. He will still wear an A, but maybe it comes with more responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've never seen that. But like, so Carpenito.
Wait a minute. Yeah. No, I think that
I've never heard of it.
Alternate captain.
Alternate captain is different than
the normal term, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, the true technical term is alternate captain. Most places call it the assistants, right? That's how they refer.
That's what it was. Okay.
Even though it is technically in the history of the NHL, it's been an alternate captain. This is an associate captain, which is a different designation. And I know Carp is the associate head coach of Northeastern. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that puts him like above. I don't know how that works.
That's a good point. And you also kind of nailed it with the new change of scenery. Like they just look like a different team. They have to be so excited to like play hockey for people to actually give a shit now.
People going nuts in the stands. I mean, it looks like a great atmosphere. The colors are nice. I mean, everything.
It's pretty cool.
And the owner, the biggest thing is the owner wants them there. It's not a fucking business venture for it. I mean, it is, but he also is pumped about the team.
Yeah. Vancouver reclaimed Yuri Patera from Boston on waivers. Patera was with the Bruins roughly for 8 days and was reportedly not happy to go back to Vancouver.
I put that in.
Oh, okay. So that's not so reportedly by you.
Yeah, reportedly by me.
And they also signed Nils Hoglander to a 3-year, $3 million AAV. Good on him. Igor Shesterkin rejected. I'm pretty sure it was an NHL record.
Allegedly, right? Because that hasn't come out for fact.
I think it is factual.
Oh, all right, then go ahead.
8 years, $11 million from the team. There's some weird nuances about this. Like somebody said, his representatives want him to be the highest paid Ranger on the team, which I fucking hate.
11 million is the highest paid goalie.
Mm-hmm. It's I have such a weird opinion on this man because he's obviously very good. I think if he's not the best goalie in the league, he's a top 3 goalie in the league. The Rangers are definitely lucky to have him. I don't know if I want that much money invested in a goal. Okay, here's my point, right? How much money did Jeremy Swayman make? And I think it was 12 mil. I don't think it was 11. I think it was 12 mil. So how much?
12, and he said no.
Let me look this up.
I thought it was 11.
What did how much money is Jeremy Swayman making?
8 years, 8.25. So 66 million.
8 years, what how much?
8.25. 66.
Okay, so it was 11. So 8 years, 88 million. Okay. My thing is Igor Shesterkin $2.5 million a year better than Jeremy Swayman?
I don't know.
Like that. He might be. When I put it that way, it's not that much more.
I don't begrudge Shesterkin asking for the moon, right? I've said this long. I'm always rooting for the players to get as much money as they can. That being said, if he gets $11-12 million, does that start to tip? Is that going to like crater New York in like 3 or 4 years?
Well, that brings me to my next point.
Because look, you're going to be like Toronto, you know.
Well, with Lundqvist was the highest paid player on the Rangers, and what Lundqvist did, he was so fucking good, dude, that he convinced the general manager that the Rangers were a wagon, and they really weren't. Like they had Hank. How many years did the Rangers fucking make the playoffs just because they had Henrik Lundqvist? And it kind of masks all the deficiencies. And I'm hoping, and it's a weird fucking problem to have, but like I feel like Shesterkin kind of does it with the Rangers. Like we win all the time because we have Igor, when it's very clear like our number one center is not a guy who's going to win a cup. Like he masks those things. I just thought I would be a little bit more emotionally involved with this, and I'm more pissed off at Igor than I am like, oh, the Rangers.
Well, you're mad at Shesterkin
a little bit because he's like it. I understand why you want to make all that money and shit, but like, don't you want to win a cup? Like, isn't there like some little?
But maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's not the most important thing. Maybe the Olympics is.
I don't know, man. That's the only shitty part to me. It'd be cool if he's like, hey, he rejected 11 million. He actually took 6. Well, that would be unreal. Yeah.
But so I just want to point this out. So we've talked about ad nauseum. We've talked about Toronto, right? How they mismanage their assets, in my opinion, right? They're not, and how we've talked about how the Crosby or Bergeron, right? Take less, everybody gets more. Mm-hmm. I saw this. I'm just looking it up right now. Where am I? I don't know what was SpotRack.com because puck whatever is gone. Cap Friendly is gone. So the Panthers, who are Stanley Cup winning champ, right?
Bobrovsky, he's making like 10 something.
No, but what I'm saying is Bobrovsky's salary is going out, right? Mm-hmm. How many years left does he have? Bobrovsky's got one more year at 10 next year. They have Forsling 5.7. Their core here, I'm breaking down. Evan Rodriguez at 3. Carter Verhaeghe at 7. Lundell at 5. Reinhart 8.6. Kachuk at 9.5. Barkov at 10. So they have all these parts, right? And it's just we talk about different teams going at things different ways. And if Igor wants $12 million, he's kind of painting the Rangers into a corner in terms of how they're going to move forward.
Yeah, and apparently they're also
good.
Now they're also currently working on a deal with Lafreniere in the 8s, from what I've heard.
And Lindgren's going to be gone.
Lindgren's gone, yeah, probably.
Yeah. See you in Boston, buddy. Back where you're supposed to.
Unfortunate. He'll probably go to Minnesota. That'd be my guess. But yeah, I don't really know what the fuck's gonna happen with them.
Actually, I'll tell you where Lindgren's going to go is Capitals. He's going to go with his brother.
No, we'll see. But yeah, that's what we have on New York. Swayman, 8 years, 8.25. It was literally the next one. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's right.
Oh boy.
GG
Marvin retired. The mini native played her collegiate career for the Minnesota Golden Gophers while playing for the USA and IHF. She won a silver in 2007, gold in 2008 and 2009. Upon graduation, she played for the Minnesota Whitecaps in the 2010-2011 season before signing with the Boston Blades in the Canadians Women's Hockey League and won the 2013 Clarkson Cup as champs. In 2015, she joined the Boston Pride in the National Women's Hockey League and was a two-time All-Star and was awarded NWHL Defensive Player of the Year. After taking a year away from the game, she signed a deal with the Boston Fleet, the PWHL, and appeared in every game last season. Played on 3 Olympic teams, 1 gold, 2 silvers, as well as 5 golds at the Worlds and 3 times silvers. Grew up in War Road, which where TJ Oshie's from, and there's a funny story about her playing at camp.
Yeah, when they were kids at camp, apparently her and Oshie got in a fight on ice, and she beat the brakes off him. Apparently, that's the rumor.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so I put this in here. I mean, she's a heck of a player, but she wanted so bad to be part of the PWHL that she was basically retired, and then was like, I can't not do this. And then ended up coming in, I think on kind of a PTO type of deal, and played every game. So good on her.
Yeah, good career.
She's going into broadcasting too. I'm trying to get her on the podcast. She's super, super sharp. So
Jacob Vrana, 1 year, 775 after coming to camp on a PTO. University of Minnesota men's hockey announced their leadership group as they named 4 captains and 2 alternates. It's a lot.
Have you ever seen that?
No, probably not. I don't think so. It's a lot of letters.
It's a lot. That's a lot. That's like a football team.
A lot of letters.
Yeah, that's what the caption said. The thing Minnesota put out said a lot of letters.
Yeah.
Even they were kind of making fun of it.
Boone Jenner, shoulder surgery, no timetable for return. After the Devils invited Kevin LeBlanc to their camp on a PTO, they waived him, put him in the AHL for cap reasons, and then Columbus claimed him, signed to a 1-year deal, 775. Good on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here you go. Get ready.
Alex Georgiev. Tough start, bud. Both of his first 2 starts this year, he was pulled in those games. 8 goals on 25 shots. It's a .680 save percentage and a 5.6 save. 6.8 goals save above expected. So,
those are beer league numbers.
So, like, can we just say I was right?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's early. I mean, this is a little early to be
fucking stinks. He's always stunk. And a good team signed him thinking, hey, he can steal a couple games. Yeah, he can steal a couple games, but in all the other games, he's getting lit up. He's a fucking sieve. Could have happened to a better guy. Detroit placed Ville Husso on waivers, announced that Jack Campbell will receive care from the player assistant program.
Remember we said in our preseason preview, Detroit had we were like, man, it's a full goalie room. They had like 5 guys, remember? Well,
yeah.
There you go.
Alex Barkov, lower body, is expected to miss the next 2 to 3 weeks. They resigned Carter Hagee 8 year 7. The Barkov injury, that sucks, but glad to have it happen in week 1 and not the last week.
Yeah, for sure. They still ended up beating the Bruins without him, so.
Raphael Lavoie has had quite a week of the transactions. On the 6th, he was placed on waiver by Edmonton. On the 7th, he was claimed by Vegas. On the 8th, he was put on waivers by Vegas. On the 9th, he was claimed by Edmonton. On the 10th, he was placed on waivers by Edmonton. And on the 11th, he was claimed off waivers by Vegas. He's now playing for the Henderson Silver Knights, Vegas's AHL team.
So this story is so funny to me because part of me hopes that he was just in a hotel room and never travel, right? But then there's part of me that hopes he was flying back and forth and walking in there like, oh, we waved you, bud.
I would have been so fucking mad about that, dude.
Well, if he gets to keep the frequent flyer miles, then good on him.
Time is a flat circle. 25 years ago, Colorado traded Jocelyn Thibault, Martin Ruchinski, and Andrei Kovalenko to Montreal for Patrick Roy. This week, Patrick Roy coached New York Islanders versus Colorado, and in the lineup for Colorado was Nikolai Kovalenko, wearing the same number 51 as his dad did. Sports.
Cool. These are awesome. Wait till you read these.
Milestones. Cam Talbot became just the second goaltender in NHL history to record a shutout for 7 different franchises. Detroit, Edmonton, Rangers, Minnesota, LA, Ottawa, and Calgary. The only other goalie to pull this off was Sean Burke. The Devils, Hartford, Carolina, Philadelphia, Florida, Phoenix, Tampa Bay, the Kings also played 16 games for Vancouver, but registered no shutouts. So really, really quick. When you think of Cam Talbot, what team do you think of?
Ducks.
Cam Talbot?
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Cam Fowler. Sorry. Cam Talbot. I'd say the Wild.
I don't know why. I think Ottawa. Is that weird?
No.
Like I think it's Talbot. I think Ottawa. And then when you think of Sean Burke, what do you think?
Hartford. 100%.
Really? I think of the Coyotes.
So. Yeah. He was actually, you can make the argument, he was one of the big pieces for Hartford, Phoenix when they, that was like a big deal when Sean Burke went there.
Yeah. Alex Ovechkin became the 6th player to join the 700 club, joining Wayne Gretzky, 894 in 1963, Gordie Howe, 801, 1049, Jaromir Jagr, 756, 1155, Marcel Dion, 731, 1040, Phil Esposito, 717, 873, and Ovi, 853, 700. So, fucking hell of a player, dude.
Yeah, I was surprised he had that many assists. I had no idea.
Jake Allen posted a 20-save shutout over the Utah Hockey Club Monday night. He did something that no one else in the history of the NHL has done. Became the first to get a W versus all 33 NHL franchises. Damn.
Yeah, because he got one against Arizona and against Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that some other people will be able to do that, but he was the first.
And then
little stat.
40 years ago this week, Mario Lemieux made his debut for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He scored his first NHL goal in his first NHL game on his first NHL shift with the first shot on net in the NHL.
Fuck. Some people just have it, right?
Yeah. Gustafson had a goalie goal last night for Minnesota. 13th goalie to ever do that. I'm trying to think
if I saw first goalie for Minnie, not first goalie to ever do that.
No, 13th.
Oh, 13th.
In NHL history. And did you see the fucking fight between Darlene and Peyton Krebs?
Oh, at practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Dude, the hit that he threw on Krebs was like.
I have no problem with fights in practice.
I don't either, but I have a problem with your fucking captain going low at somebody and then getting up and fighting them. Like, I think that's kind of shitty. You just named him captain. Like,
setting the tone.
There had to have been something that happened earlier.
Oh, there could have been something like, who knows what, he cut him off in the food line or something. There's just so many things, anyone, it could have been anything.
I'll get into it when we.
Before we go, because I wrote this down because I got an email this morning and I forgot to put it in the thing. PWHL, they're going from 24 games to 30 games this year. They're going to have a traveling preseason, so they're going to do a bunch of preseason stuff at different sites. And Thanksgiving weekend is when they start. 11:30 is the kickoff. November 30th is the kickoff date. All 6 teams will be playing. They're doing a staggered start, so none of the games will overlap. So, as a PWHL credentialed media person, I get emails, updates. So
nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right, so we are gonna dump and change.
Right. I just realized that all this dump and change is football related.
5-1 in fantasy. Remember when you said my team was shit? Suck on that.
Well, once you said you were doing well, I said your league was shit. Keanu Reeves was reportedly so good at quarterback on the set of The Replacements that the Baltimore Ravens invited him to a tryout in 2000. You ever see that movie, The Replacements?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable movie. How have I never heard that before?
I'd never heard it either. Keanu Reeves is just one of the most interesting people on the planet.
Yeah, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. In a recent game versus Baltimore, Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes was intercepted by the brother of one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers. So maybe a lot of turmoil in the Kansas City locker room, maybe. This kid, Boise State running back, Ashton Genty, I'm not sure how you say it, but he surpassed 1,000 rushing yards in his 5th game of the year on just 90 carries. That's 200 yards game average and 11.11 yards per carry, which is insane.
When you bet him, the over-under on yards is like 175. Because I was talking, so Clapp was telling me about this kid, and we've been on a little bit of a streak here with our gambling, and we were talking about this, and he told me that. I was like, dude, you got to bet the under. There's no way. And he's like, dude, every fucking game he has like 200
That's
yards. I'm like,
crazy.
why is this kid not being talked about more?
Yeah, I know. Do you know who these? All right, you probably know who Chad Ochocinco is. Do you know who James Harrison is?
Big motherfucker, dude.
So
File him under do not fuck with, like top 5 in the world.
So these two guys look like they're almost different species, right?
Yeah.
And they're fighting MMA, and apparently, no disrespect to Ochocinco, but apparently he's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But they're going to do a 4-round exhibition MMA fight in New Orleans ahead of the Super Bowl. And Ochocinco is he is running his mouth. Like he said something. He's like, "Oh, it's 3 rounds," and Harrison's like, "Well, it's going to be 4." And Ochocinco's like, "Well, I'm not going to knock you out in the first round." And Harrison's like, he doesn't seem like he's joking, and maybe this is all like a front. But Harrison's like, they're going to have to carry you out of the ring.
There's no way this is real.
I have no idea, but James Harrison is just like,
James Harrison will rip the limbs off of him.
I know it doesn't make sense. This is literally like Hulk Hogan versus Rocky in the movie. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it does matter that like jujitsu and shit like that, but I feel like he's so strong, dude.
Yeah.
This
is like an elephant versus a giraffe. You know what I mean?
Literally. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But all right, so sticking with football, Tom Brady and Richard Seymour have become minority stake owners in the Las Vegas Raiders. Brady's got 5%, and with a little bit of like a conglomerate, and Richard Seymour, I think, did it by himself. He got half a percentage. And upon signing the deal, Tom Brady finally admitted that he fumbled in the infamous tuck game versus the Raiders in the snow. And dude, I was at that game. It was a fucking fumble. USC allows people to pay between $1,450 and $1,800 to run out onto the field with the team ahead of a game. And there's like 30, 40 people that pay this to do it. There are no stipulations in place regarding what you wear, and a few Penn State fans took advantage as one guy filming himself ran out in full Penn State gear out of the USC tunnel ahead of the USC team, and another fan ran out with the USC team holding a giant Penn State flag. These are my 2 heroes of the week, people that do that.
After the game, somebody on Penn State took their flag and like went to plant it at center field, and the coach was like, "What are you doing?" And like just took the flag away. I thought that was a very weird move. Like they're not rivals, right? At all.
I have no idea. I don't follow.
Like, when Baker Mayfield did it, I think they were playing a rival, and it was like, dude, that's kind of sick. This like random Penn State kid went to do, and the coach was like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Well, he might have been like, "We don't need that smoke." Who knows?
Yeah.
But how dumb is this? Like, imagine like you had the chance. So the Devils, right? The Rangers' biggest rivals.
Allegedly, yeah.
All right. So let's say you have the ability to go and skate a warm-ups with the Devils. Like you can pay $1,000 to skate warmies. And then you go out there in your full Rangers gear. That would be like ridiculous, right? Or like the ceremonial first pitch at Yankee Stadium, and I roll out in a fucking Red Sox uniform. You know what I mean?
That is pretty crazy to think of that.
But that's what they do. You know, you're allowed to do. There's no stipulations. So that's it for a dump and change.
All right. Rangers 2-1. Got to clean up their D zone a little bit. First game they beat the Penguins 6-0. All 4 lines scored. Second game they lost to Utah. Sam Carrick is kind of cool. Do you know anything about him?
Outside of his playing, you mean?
Yeah, no, his playing.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've seen him play.
He is kind of everything I thought Gaudreau was going to be.
Oh, I saw you posted that. Yeah.
He like when Gaudreau went to the Rangers, I knew he fought, and I thought he'd fight a lot more. But classic Rangers, you go to New York, the lights are too big. You get a hard
Carrick like 25?
He's a little bit older.
Well, what I meant was he's significantly younger than Gaudreau was, right? When he came.
I think probably around the same, honestly.
Okay.
But Gaudreau,
my boy Gaudreau.
Well, it was just classic. You go to the Rangers, you get a new haircut, and you fucking forget where you came from. This Carrick kid's not that at all. Like he'll fight fucking anybody. He throws hard, he hits, good on the dot. He got in a fight with somebody on Utah, and then all of a sudden you look over and Adam Edstrom is fighting Jay McBain. Not Jay McBain. I know what Jay McBain. Whatever McBain is. Didn't do bad, bloodied him. They both got kicked out of the game because there's that new rule: if there's a fight going on, any other fights that go on when that's going on, everybody gets kicked out. What I thought was funny is Carrick and Edstrom are going and Rempe's on the ice. And I'm like, I feel so bad for that poor motherfucker that gets paired off with him. Like Rempe ended up not fighting, but can you imagine just being like a 6 defenseman, like 5'10", like that's not your game. And you look up and you're like, fuck.
Although you could make the argument though, if you're having like, let's say you're that 6th defenseman, you go out your first 2 shifts, you're a -2, you just feel like the game's
go home.
You just feel like the game's going a little too fast for you that night. You had too much at pregame. You're just not feeling it. And then you're paired off with Rempe. You're like, I'm gonna throw a punch because he'll definitely throw. And
yeah,
then
dude, I'm gonna spear this guy and turtle immediately.
And I can get right out of here. I'll be in the press box in 20 minutes.
I'm trying to think what else happened. We beat Detroit the other night 4-1. Put out a blog after the Utah game.
That was good. I thought it was a good blog.
Mika Zibanejads is just he ended up having a goal. He had a goal and 2 assists in game 3. The goal was an empty netter. One of the assists was nice. It was funny. So Sean Avery's been doing a lot of like stories of the game, and he like talks about what's going on. He pointed out a couple things. Vincent Trocheck is like grossly out of shape, like very much out of shape, which is kind of concerning. He posted a few videos of him just being like, "What is he even doing?"
How many?
And then he posted.
Trocheck have?
He'll be fine. It's just I wish he kind of came to camp ready to go. And then Mika Zibanejad, the thing they said about him, he's like he's been DJing too much in a visa, which I thought was funny because that's what everybody fucking says. Phil Hedl is healthy, scored in the first game, good on him. Victor Mancini's looked okay, stepping in for Lindgren. Lindgren's a full participant in practice now, so he should be back soon. Just kind of figuring out what the identity is going to be the team this year. Alexi Lafreniere, I'm pretty sure has 4 points in 3 games, so he's been playing fucking really good. Actually, if you have to talk about the Rangers, I want to look up this stat really quick.
Just say Trocheck's not a UFA until 2029, so
he just showed up a little. I'm not worried about him at all. He's a dog.
I will say that the post you had, or maybe I saw the clip, that Zibanejad looking so uninterested. What was that, the game-winning goal?
Yeah, game-winning goal.
Like he already had the car warmed up. Like, let's get.
You can tell he just didn't want to be out there. So Alexi Lafreniere.
You've been at beer league games when the refs like are waving off icings because they want to get the fuck out of there.
Exactly.
That's what it looked like. Like, oh, is it snowing? Do you want to get home?
I know, and I'm like, and dude, that wasn't the first shift he did that. And so when they put him out there,
that was the game winner, so it was much more apparent.
Yeah,
he would drive me insane if I was a Rangers fan, and if I watch them like you do, like I watch them. Let's say I watch 3 Rangers games a month, right? Let's say that. In those 3 games, I am angered by the way he plays.
Yeah.
And if I had to watch them every fucking game, I would lose my. You know what? He is your Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
Yeah,
he makes way more money.
Yeah.
Alexi Lafreniere in his last 38 games, including playoffs last year.
Okay.
21 goals, 39 points, 45. He's at a 45-82 game goal pace in his last 38 games. So I think
are you speaking for him at arbitration? Is that what this is?
I'm wondering because like, dude, they're getting older. Mika's getting older. Chris Kreider's getting older. At some point there's going to be a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Like leadership kind of group, I guess. Yeah. I think Fox will be there, but like, dude.
Yeah. The problem is that like, Trouba's what? 30 something?
Trouba won't be on the Rangers next year.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. So in my mind, we have this whole discussion about captains, right? And like a guy like Bergeron and Ginla, those are right the benchmark, right? Jonathan Taves, Sidney Crosby, those are the Kopitar, Drew Doughty, those type of guys.
Stamkos.
Yeah, Stamkos, right? Another McDonough, right? So and we don't know the inner workings of the locker rooms, right? Like that clip that was going around from the show about McDavid fucking screaming in the locker room, right?
Yeah, it was so cool to watch McDavid. Like
that's what I'm talking about. I don't see that from Zibanejad, Kreider. Like I can't even fathom that. Like Pasternak, I can't see that from him either.
I can't imagine Zibanejad getting pissed off about anything other than the fact that like he missed his kid's nap time.
Yeah, so it's hard because if you look at the young guys on the Rangers, Keandre Miller maybe has that jam, right? I'd say Lindgren, but I don't think if the way we were talking before, I don't think Lindgren's going to be there. Fox.
I'm going to say it right now, dude. I think Alexi Lafreniere is going to be a future captain of the New York Rangers.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like it's kind of leading towards Lafreniere being that guy, and he could be
like
that guy.
Vinny Trocheck, maybe I could see that happening. He's a dog, dude. He fucking
no, I get it.
That's who you want your captain to fucking be.
But listen, as someone who has of their team a captain that does some questionable antics, Trocheck's in that category, right? Like Marchand. I think Lafreniere has that Ryan Callahan type vibe.
Yeah,
you
plays
know
the right way. If he fucking he doesn't take shifts off. The Rangers have too many people on their team that take shifts off in their top six.
Well, who's the captains? You got Trouba, Zibanejad,
Kreider, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Fox.
So who's gonna hold them accountable? So this is where Marchand excels, because Marchand comes into camp ready to go, in shape, addresses the rookies, and does the rookie workout with them when he doesn't need to. And all that guy does is work. So that balances out the on ice maybe lapses.
Dude, that's why I'm also kind of worried about it, because Lafreniere, in his years where he's learned to be a pro, where he's learned to play in the NHL, who's he looking up to?
Right. Yeah.
Like that, yeah. That's how come I think we're going to be fucked for a bit, because you put together a first line of, and Chris Kreider scores goals. Don't get me wrong. The guy fucking put the puck in the net. I'll give him that. But how many times does that guy take a fucking shift off? And Mika Zibanejad, like.
So could this be why Shesterkin's like, if you want me here long-term with these guys, I need more money?
I don't know. I doubt it, but maybe.
I mean, he's got to be a pretty good. His view, he's got to see when you're not hustling hard in the back check. I would think the goalie notices that.
I also have another prediction. I think if Capo Caco goes anywhere,
he's going to light it up.
I feel like, I don't know if he'll light it up, but I feel like he'll be a way better player.
Maybe some people, it's everyone's where they feel comfortable makes a big difference.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of what I got on the Rangers. 2-1, 2-0-1. They lost in overtime. So the Utah game fucking pissed me off. But at least they got a point. Like, at least they're not gonna be kicking, But yeah, that's what I got. So what do you got on the Bees?
2-2. 2 ugly losses, both to Florida. I saw someone put it up this way. They were like, the entire offseason, the Bruins have been thinking nonstop about the Panthers. The entire offseason, the Panthers haven't given one thought to the Bruins. Yeah. And that's what it played like. They were running around. It was ridiculous. Yeah, those were horrible games. And then they beat the Kings in overtime and the Canadians, who they should beat.
Kings in overtime is a good win, though.
Yeah, that was a good game. Yeah, good game. I forgot Darcy Kemper was playing net for the Kings. They looked really good, actually, the Kings. And they were doing that without Doughty, too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different pieces, so there's going to be some time. I will say, I got notes. So Brad Marchand is now 5th all-time in games played, behind Ray Bourque, Johnny Busick, Bergeron, and Don Sweeney, and he'll catch Don Sweeney this year. So the end of the season, Marchand's going to be 4th all-time in games played for the Bruins. Pretty cool.
Yep.
I will say this. Elias Lindholm, I know it's only 4 games.
No, he's had a good start to the year, right?
Fuck me, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I watched him play in Calgary. I didn't watch him play a lot in Vancouver, but god damn, he plays all 200 feet, and he's got way more edge to him than I thought he did. Okay. Behind the play, chops, scrums, he's right in there. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but you're also putting him in an environment where that team is kind of built on that. You know?
Yeah, no, I know, but
that just shows like your fucking leadership group there too. Like, that you might not have sandpaper to your game, but when you come to the Bruins, you better learn how to have it.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of guys who played on the Bruins who don't have that and kind of shy away from it. He's embraced it, so good on him. Nikita Zadorov obviously doesn't realize how big he is, because goddamn, this guy gets dumb penalties that Zdeno Chara somehow didn't. And I'm like, good Lord, every game. And he's like, yeah, dude, you're fucking 8 feet tall. Keep your elbow tucked. It's just, whatever. That'll take some time.
He loves the penalty box.
Yeah. I think Trent Frederic's game right now is the most complete on the roster, up and down, for where he is impact wise. In the third line, he's been playing center, which I think he's playing some center. They keep forcing Matthew Petra in there, Petra, however you say his name, at center, and I'm not really sold on him. Mark Kaslik, he came over for Ullmark from Ottawa. He's tied with Lindholm for lead on the team in points. So if you get, listen, you're going to give me 25 goals out of your third line guy or a fourth line center, sure.
Yeah.
Johnny Beecher has become this go-to face-off guy. It's great because he's a young player, and this is a numbers thing. The Bruins have always been like you don't give out like good numbers to young players, right? They're always in like the 50s and the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Beecher got 19, and I said to a buddy I play with when he first came up, I'm like, he's wearing 19, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, they see something in Beecher, and this is the dumbest fucking.
No, I don't think that's dumb at all. I think that's completely.
But that's some. I don't know who determines that, but that's somewhere. They were like, "Oh, Beecher's gonna be something because he's got 19."
Yeah.
And he's been like crucial, like late game faceoffs in the defensive zone. They move him over to center to take him down a goal, offensive zone, pull the goalie. Beecher's out there, let him take the faceoff.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's
good. That's good. That fourth line that we talked about with Beecher, Mark Kaslik, and Cole Koepke have been the most consistent, but they've also the one line that hasn't been fucked with. So that's part of it also. I mean, again, it's only 4 games. Pastrnak, people are taking a lot of liberties with Pastrnak, and I am not here for it. And I get that you can't run around, and I'm going to sound like those idiots on Facebook, like, you got to set the tone. You need to win the game first, right? But when Pastrnak's getting run, Marchand jumped Nate Schmidt the other night. Yeah. And hey, good on Nate Schmidt for being the spare defenseman, going out there and rocking Pastrnak's shit. Yeah. So I can appreciate both sides of that equation.
Well, people forget Pastrnak's a fucking dirty player.
He can be behind a lot of stuff. Yeah, he can be. But
I don't forget that hit on Lindgren. He's a dirty fucking player.
All right. So they're 2-2. They have a 3-game road trip starting tonight. Colorado, Utah, Nashville, which will be 3 good tests, And I will say that there's nothing better in my mind than an early season little roadie to get the boys together. So hopefully they're already out in Colorado, and they were out there for a couple of days. They did some off ice thing. Brandon Carlo probably had the whole team to his parents' house because that's where he's from, and they had some good bonding. So hopefully when they get an extra day in Nashville, so they can go out and rip it up together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got for the Bruins. And and then Northeastern, my wife pointed out, so Friday night they played BU and we all went because it was the PWHL night. And so my daughter got to meet Megan Keller, Taylor Gerard. She got to see Alina again and Alina Mueller, Chloe Arard, who Riley had already met. And she took some pictures, got autographs. I took her in the press box. Just a great time, right? Yeah. We got home at I think 11 o'clock because it was a 7 o'clock puck drop because of all this stuff. And it was just, my daughter was a disaster for 2 days. So Saturday it was rainy and my wife was doing stuff and I'm like, oh, me and Riley will just chill and watch hockey. Well, the Bruins were on at, I think 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock Saturday. That was the Kings game.
Yeah.
And the Huskies are playing BU at 3. I'm like, I can't tape the Huskies because it's on ESPN Plus,
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the Huskies live lose and then watch the Kings taped. And my wife was like, so does that mean you chose the Huskies over the Bruins? I'm like, I think I did in this instance. So yeah. So shout out to you, Huskies. So anyways, first week of awards in Hockey East, Skylar Irving, Player of the Week, 3-4-7 and 6 games played with 4 PIMs and +4 with 8 blocks. I will say this about Irving. I had a parent. I had a parent on the team even point this out to me. They are running the wheels off of Scurvs. She's got to be playing. I don't know. There's no time on ice stats available. She's got to be over 25 minutes a game as a forward. Yeah. Oh yeah. So and remember me and Carp talked about the rookie class, right?
Yeah.
This Eloise Caron, holy shnikes, better than advertised. Tied with Scurvs for points, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points in 6 games played, 6 PIMs, +5, 2 blocks. She was Rookie of the Week, Hockey East this week. This is the girl who wears 91, talking about numbers.
Yep.
I mean, first off, the confidence to come into Northeastern and ask for 91. First of all, that's big. but she takes this shot. She's a lefty on the left wing from like maybe the dot on the left wing faceoff circle, far side upstairs. Like I think she's hit it 3 times. And she's out there in penalty kills, blocking shots, and she is all about the fucking nastiness behind the play. So much fun to watch. Yeah. She's a fun player to watch. I will say, so they have 2 games played in Hockey East, 1-1. They split with BU. They're still ranked 13th nationwide, and I'm not telling any tales out of school. They need to figure out the fucking back half of these 2-game series because they are winning the first game, losing the second game. And it's happened to them every weekend.
Okay.
Won the first game at Penn State, lost the second. Won the first game at Quinnipiac, lost the second. Won the first game against BU, and then somehow lost the second. And that sucks because it was the rookie, the freshman goaltender, Lisa Janssen. It was her first start, and they lost. They ended up losing 4-2, but 2 empty netters. So, or 4, no, it was 4-0 with 2 empty netters. She only let in 2.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just tough. Like, figure it out. I'm sure they will. I'm not concerned. They got Holy Cross this weekend.
Figure it out, Carp.
Yeah, figure it out, Carp. You got Holy Cross this weekend for a pair, and we have Lily Jovetic coming on next week. And I will say this: when I predicted Jovicic's first ever career goal against Holy Cross, maybe she does it again this weekend. And that's what I said to Delaney. I go, did Jovo delay a week just so she could get another one against Holy Cross before she comes on? She goes, maybe. So big weekend for the Huskies.
Talking Huskies. All right. Last little thing here. Beer League Hockey brought to you by Beauty Unis.
Did I?
Brownie.
Oh, go ahead. Tell us.
No, talk your stuff while I get this ready.
Did I tell you the story about how Alistair Poppycock thinks he met the guy who runs Beauty Unis, Casey?
How do you do that?
I can whatever. I want to tell Casey. I don't want to spoil the story because if Casey's listening.
Okay.
What does that say? Lakeside Llamas?
I think so. Yeah.
That's given me. All right. So it's a powder blue shirt with a red trim with like a 70s era like striping.
Yeah.
It's given me vibes of the Arizona Coyotes Kachina jerseys a little bit with that.
Yeah, a little bit.
With the hem and the sleeves. They have a llama silhouette on the hem and the sleeves, which is kind of cool in the stripes. And it's this bug-eyed, I gotta say, it looks pretty high llama. So yeah, bug-eyed blood.
So if you were to create a kit for this team, like what color pants, gloves, and helmet are you wearing with it? Black? Gotta go black.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is Fink's wet dream because of what I'm about to say. The pants have to have that same hem, but vertical on the side. Right?
Yeah.
So going sideways. I think the gloves, I would go with the color of the logo, the llama logo, like gold gloves.
Yuck.
I know, but you're leaning into it. You got to lean into it. I could see gold, and then across this part of the glove in black, it says llamas.
I would just go all black helmet, black gloves, black shell with that vertical trim down the side of your pant. I think it would be dope.
Yeah, this is some, man, this is going to stand out in the rink. You're not going to have a problem figuring out which rink your friends play when they're like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're like then the alternate jersey, you just swap the red and the blue. And so the whole jersey is that pinkish red with the blue on the stripes instead.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's again, they don't miss. I love the lettering too, because it's like it's almost like it gives that like Seattle Kraken type of font. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one. They don't miss. I love their jerseys.
No, they don't. What do you got for Beer League this week, dude?
So we had our first game the other night. I don't know what happened. I ended up falling asleep on the couch, didn't make it, and I don't know if the boys won or lost. So yeah, my bad, fellas.
Oh boy, that's tough.
That's a tough look for Brownie.
That's tough. Tougher look, dude. We're 0-3 to start the year, start the campaign. I only have a goal and assist. I played a game where I didn't have a point. It's the first time I've ever played in this league without having a point. And I don't know if it's because I just didn't play hockey for a year or what the hell's going on, but the legs are definitely getting back. The second game, I felt like that was the worst hockey game I ever played in my whole life. But third game was better. Still trying to learn everybody's names. Still trying to figure out what's going on in the room. What you can't do, but it is nice definitely to be back on the ice. We're playing at Union College the last couple games. This is
I saw your picture that you put up there.
Yeah, this is the last year that they're playing at that rink. So it's kind of cool to be there. It's a fucking awesome rink.
Ooh, I just looked it up. We won our first game.
There you go. Boom. I think we're gonna win our. I'm guaranteeing a victory next week. Guaranteed. Nice. You heard it here first. But yeah, it's definitely fun to be back on the ice playing hockey. Like, definitely look forward to it. It's getting way too cold out to be playing softball. I only got softball for 2 more weeks and that's done, thank God. But yeah, definitely cool to be in the rink. Claps on the team, brought in a couple other people. It's been good, but beer league debate wise. So I'm bringing this up because what's the acceptable amount of time you're allowed to hang out at the rink after a game, I guess?
Are you asking me as like the rink guy or as my
on the team? And I ask it because Clapp and I have very different lives. Like he has a wife and a kid. Yeah. I don't have either of those things.
All right, so let me back this up. Let me years ago when I first started playing adult hockey, right? I was a pawn guy, never played organized. Excuse me. And I had some buddies that were playing this Friday night skate, and they're like, you should come. So I started playing. That's how I got back into hockey, right? This Friday night skate was a fucking disaster. We would be there till literally 4:35 a.m. And it torpedoed my Saturdays. We were there. The rink was so cool. They would just let us, they would lock the outer door and they would give us the vestibule in the winter. We would have fires there, cookouts. Cops would roll through just to make sure we weren't kids. There was one time a cop rolled through and we were all like, hello, officer. He's like, you guys grilling? Like one of the guys was like, you want a burger? He's like, I will take a burger. So that is where I learned about like winning the parking lot. Since then, it's over time. I'm like Clapp. I have a kid and I own my own business, so I got to work a lot of Saturdays. So I've ramped down in terms of my time at rinks. That team, the Shamrocks, that team was built on the parking lot. We were a great team, but we were even better in the parking lot. I mean, we would have barbecues and smokers. We had a winter barbecue once that we had like 4 heaters out there. We were out there like 3 a.m. So those days are well behind me. And shout out to my buddy Chris Mack if he's listening. So we used to play at this one rink over in Bedford, and he made the mistake of inviting his ex-wife and kids to a game. And they came to this is not why they're divorced, but they came to the game and she was like, only took me 20 minutes to get here. And he's like, oh, did you figure out a shortcut?
Yeah, right. Traffic, babe. A lot of traffic at 3 a.m.
Like hours to the game. Yeah. But my whole theory was always win the parking lot, right? But those days have passed. I'll still have beers with the boys when we have them, but I am very much 2 to 4 beers after every game is my rule. And
we have a beer guy. Everybody has
car, whatever. But 2 to 4 after every game.
Yeah, I mean,
we have very few rinks around here where they let you drink in the rink. Some guys know the Zamboni guys, and you can probably get away with it if you bring everything with you, right? You can't throw the trash in the bin.
Here's my thing. Who gives a shit? As long as you put the shit in the trash can, who cares?
No. Because around here we share a lot of locker rooms with the high school and stuff, so and youth. No, but there's youth and they don't want, all it takes is one parent complaining. And you don't so the rink guy doesn't, if you're not allowed to drink beer in the rink, then you have to take your garbage with you because otherwise the rink guy's going to get in trouble. You see what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying. I just hate the fact that we live in a world where a parent would complain about that. As long as you pick up your shit and it's in the trash can, who cares?
Well, then it goes back to the rink's policies, and then you get the legal ramifications of, someone leaves the rink shit-faced and hits someone, the rink can be liable because they let you drink there. So that's why you have to bear that all in mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, there was a team I used to play on. There was a rink that you weren't allowed to drink at. So we would all get in our cars and drive to this other rink that you were allowed to drink at that was like 15, 20 minutes away. And there'd be like 2 teams out there drinking. And then there'd be like, imagine you're drinking in a parking lot, and then all of a sudden, like 20 cars pull up, and these guys get out and they're like, "Hey, we just played over this other rink." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we get it." And just 2 separate groups drinking. It's so funny. But yeah, I say 2 to 4 beers after the game. That's my usual. So that way my day's not toast the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Clap's on my end of the spectrum for this.
I think he has to be.
Yeah, because you have a life and responsibility.
Yeah. But I also think that if I was like, "Hey, Dave, do you want to floor it?" I don't know if he would floor it immediately, but there'd be a thought in his head where he's like, "That would be fun."
I'll tell you what, if Mrs. Clap and Baby Clap go away and he has a Thursday night game and they're gone, and then he'll floor it. I guarantee you. And I'm the same way. Like in about 2 weeks' time, I won't be working Saturdays anymore. Yeah. And then when that happens, then it turns into a different vibe. Then I can go get after it a little bit harder on Thursday because Friday is going to be an easy day. It's not going to be, you know what I mean? Normally, right now, Friday's a full day and we can't. So I get it. It's buddy, I've told you this many, many times. Irresponsibility is the privilege of youth.
I think we have 2 games next week. So
2 games? Is that every week? You have 2 games?
No, just next week.
Oh.
Monday, Friday. Every once in a while we'll have a 2-gamer, but
actually I'm hoping to skate. Today's Wednesday. I'm hoping to skate tomorrow night because I skated twice all summer. That's it. So I want to get in a skate before our game.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of what we got for the podcast,
yeah,
right?
That's it, man. Yeah. You got any heroes or zeros? Anyone bothering you?
Oh God. Dude, okay. So I had fruit flies in my apartment, which I thought I fucking couldn't stand it, and I didn't have any fruit here. And I was talking to people around here, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's like a thing." And I was like, "Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better." I had to create a fruit fly trap. Have you ever done this? With apple cider vinegar? Yeah. Dude, I clean up, dude. Fuck with me, fruit flies. Come for me again. I dare you. They're all dead. Every one of them. So,
speaking of fruit flies, I will give you this free tip because it's in right here in my phone, in my Christmas notes.
Where are we going with this, dude?
So there's a plant called a Cape Sundew plant.
Mm-hmm.
Cape, like Cape Cod, sundew, like Mountain Dew, but sundew. Yeah. They are a carnivorous plant, and they thrive on fruit flies and other small household pests. So instead of having apple cider, you could get yourself a few of these plants, and that'll do the job. So I have them in my Christmas list to get one for my wife and one for my daughter because we eat a lot of fruit here, but you don't always keep up with it,
right?
Right. And I hate keeping fruit in the fridge like apples. It's better room temperature. Bananas, and you get a lot of fruit flies, just part of the life. So I'm getting one for my wife and daughter and one for a few friends I don't want to say in case they're listening.
There you
go.
Yeah,
I have a list in my phone of Christmas gifts.
I got a Venus flytrap from Trader Joe's. I'm hoping that's going to help take some of them out too. So we'll see.
Too small. Those will catch flies.
Yeah,
like a house fly. Yeah, I think you got to feed those if there's no bugs.
Yeah, I don't expect this plant to last all that long.
Wait, so you went to Trader? I saw you had a post. You had a picture up of Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is a shit, right?
Yeah, so Trader Joe's is Aldi's. They're like the same. They're the same thing. They're like a classier
Aldi's. The crackhead. Yeah, Aldi's the crackhead uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm making chicken pitas in the crock pot right now. It fucking smells so good in here. I'm pumped.
Nice. Very
but
nice.
I'm actually gonna go meet Critch, the Key Sparkling Water guy. I'm gonna go meet him for lunch here in a little bit, and then I don't got shit later. So everybody, if you're tuning into this podcast, if you send in stuff to try to hop on board the morning skate train, I'm gonna look at that today.
There you go. So hey, the other half of that is, so if you haven't got a response, it's Ked's fault.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I'm gonna look at stuff today, and I'm gonna try to figure out some stuff, set up some calls, see where we're going with all that shit. So, anything else, Brownie?
No. If you're at Matthews this weekend, come say hi. I'll be there Saturday. Friday, I think I'll be at Holy Cross. I haven't been there in years, so that'll be cool. It's a lot closer to my house than Matthews. And as always, Jerome McGinley. Hopefully I'll see you at Dartmouth, but if not, God bless you anyways.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.